Welcome to another video from ExplainingComputers.com and to my December 2017 channel update. Yes, it's time for one of these 6 monthly updates in which I let you know what's been going on with me and the channel and what's coming up in the next 6 months. And the first thing to say is that the last 6 months, and indeed all of 2017, have been a great time for the Explaining Computers channel. Back at the start of the year, I was unboxing the silver play button to celebrate 100,000 subscribers, and right now the channel's got over 240,000 subscribers, heading towards the 250,000 subscriber mark. So hopefully sometime in January 2018 there'll be 250,000 people subscribed to Explaining Computers, and I find that amazing. So as I've often said here, I'll say again, thanks to all of you who watch the videos, who subscribe, who like, who comment, who keep this community of Explaining Computers going here on YouTube. It's going well. I hope it's going to continue to go well throughout 2018. Now, in terms of myself, the last 6 months have been very busy. Not least in the last 6 months, I've written and published this, my 13th book, Digital Genesis, The Future of Computing, Robots and AI. This has fed into various videos on the channel, as I'm sure you've noticed in the past few months. It'll feed into one more sometime in the first quarter of 2018. I'll leave that as a bit of a surprise. But I'm not planning on writing a book in 2018 itself. And I'm looking forward to not writing a book in 2018. I've done one a year for 8 years now. I need a little bit of a break from that, and I can focus more on videos and that type of stuff. And talking of focusing on videos and that type of stuff, in the past 6 months I've done a couple of TV-related projects which have been very interesting and linked again to stuff sort of linked to this channel. You might remember back at the end of 2016 I upgraded my RenderBox, the computer I used to render out CG animation from Lightwave, and one of the things that machine ended up doing throughout a large chunk of the summer of August and into September was rendering out a lot of shots for a Brian Cox TV documentary for the BBC called The 21st Century Race for Space, which has now been shown by the BBC and the Smithsonian Channel in the States and various other places around the world. So it was rendering out shots of asteroids, as you can see here. Initially shots I'd made for an Explaining the Future video, but they had to be rendered out not in 720p as they were initially, but at 4K resolution. So the machine took a long while rendering out the shots at 4K for the BBC show. And I think it's nice to see the result of a project which was a hardware-based project a little while ago actually becoming a real artistic output, a real practical working project. The machine has paid for itself just by doing these shots for the Brian Cox documentary. Anyway, that's something that's going on. Let's talk a bit more broadly about YouTube and the channel. As you may have noticed, one of the new features on YouTube in 2017 has been the Community tab, which allows me to post on the channel things like polls, but also to put up images, maybe things like videos in production. And I actually really like the Community tab. I like the idea of being able to put up, for example, a picture every week of maybe what's going on in an upcoming video. However, I have noticed since I've started to use that tab, I've done a couple of posts on it and then stopped. I stopped because a few people have said to me, both on the tab and elsewhere, they've gone, please don't use the Community tab because it just generates notifications and we don't want to get lots and lots of extra notifications. And therefore I'd really like to have your feedback. Should I be using the Community tab? My preference would be to be posting, say, probably one thing a week, maybe sometimes twice a week, but no more than that, something on that Community tab there. But if it's going to drive you away, clearly I shouldn't be doing it. So please let me know, should I or should I not be using the YouTube Community tab? Over the past 6 months on this channel, and indeed more generally, I've always tried to keep a balance of content so that every week it's slightly different. You don't get the same type of content week in, week out on Explaining Computers. If I do a project that's got follow-ups, I tend to sort of put some gaps in as the project continues. And I hope that's the right thing to do. And certainly we've had a variety of content in the past year. We've had things on hardware, we've had things on software, operating systems, and particularly application programs like video editors. There's been stuff on AI, there's been stuff on robots of various kinds, there's been some historical content, and of course there's been stuff on things like single-board computers. And if I look at the 4 most popular videos on my channel in 2017, 2 were on single-board computers. One was the video I posted way back in January on the chip, and one was the video I posted not long after that, my first video on the Tinkerboard. But the two other really popular videos this year, one was on SSD life expectancy, which I sort of wasn't that surprised about. Many of you had asked me to make that video. But the other one was on quantum computing, my Quantum Computing 2017 update. I was staggered that that's on over 500,000 views now. I thought it would do okay. I didn't think it would do that well. So it was nice to see a variety of content picking up good sort of views. And of course, I think about how previous content has done as I'm planning content for the future. So I've got here a piece of paper with various things I'm planning to come up on the channel. I should say my production list changes dramatically. There's always a long list. It's got about 40 things on it at the moment, some very well developed, some vague ideas. Many of those ideas inspired by things people have posted in comments. I very much listen to what people say, but I can't make everything that everyone suggests. It just simply obviously isn't possible. But some videos get planned out and they sit in my list and they get worked on for weeks and weeks and weeks. Things like the organic computing video recently, that was worked on forever, it felt like. Other videos, like the recent video on the graphics card I fitted, that was sort of like a 48-hour thing, and then it was up and there we are, and things moved on. So these are the areas I'm thinking of. Again, as I keep saying throughout this video, let me know what you think. Your views will affect where I make things and what comes up most readily. I'm certainly planning on doing some stuff around video effects work, video compositing, how to do green screen work best. I want to have a look at, what's it say here, HitFilm Express, which can be great for things like that with its compositor and it's for doing motion graphics. And I also want to look at, not DaVinci Resolve, but Blackmagic Design have a package called Fusion for doing effects work, which is also free. I really want to take a look at that. What else is on my list? I can't remember, that's why I wrote it all down. I want to do a video on blockchain. So many of you said to me, Chris, do a video on blockchain and cryptocurrencies. I will do that, I promise, in 2018. I will be doing some more of what I call the core Explaining Computers topics. Sometimes people make a comment in the comments when they say, when are you going to do one of your proper videos? And I know exactly what you mean by that. When this channel started out, most of the videos were about a particular topic, explaining cloud computing or security or whatever it was. And I have got planned in that sort of vein coming up a video about explaining PCIe. I want to do a video about explaining memory, going through all the different types and a bit of history, that sort of stuff. So there will be videos looking at particular technologies. I also want to do a video just explaining desktop PCs. I want to build a desktop PC entirely in computer graphics so I can take it apart, put it together and talk about the essence of a technology. Maybe that's a good idea, maybe it's a bad idea, it would take forever. I don't know, it probably will be coming up. I'll probably do a bit more history this year. I got some good comment on the history videos. I'd love to do some more location reports. I'm planning a video on digital cinema, where I actually go and look at the hardware and the configuration of it for actually how they put films on the screen in a cinema. That just happens to interest me. Maybe none of you are interested at all, but I'll probably make it anyway because it sounds an exciting video to go and do. Certainly I'll be looking at other operating systems. Several of you said to me, look at things like Flint OS, React OS. I will be looking at those absolutely across 2018. I'll come back to robotics a bit. I particularly want to look at servo control from single board computers, things like a Raspberry Pi. I want to come back to green computing and power consumption. I've had a lot of requests to look at the power consumption of single board computers, and I'm planning a mass video where I look at the power consumption of every one I've got, about 15 to 16 of them, and I did some broader mass reviews of single board computers. I think I promised that in the past. I keep holding off going, I'll just wait till that one's arrived. I really must do some of my big single board computer benchmark videos. They might be very interesting to do. And finally on this list, and that's, oh, there we are, it's gone away now. Finally on that list, it's gone somewhere on the floor. Good job, the floor was there to catch it. I might do a video about coding. People have said do some videos on, say, Python coding or maybe HTML coding. Would you be interested in some coding-based videos? Again, let me all know how busy you're going to be with your fingers down in the comments section. So, here we are at the end of another Explaining Computers video, and indeed at the end of 2017. So all that remains for me to say is from me and from Mr. Scissors, we'll wish you a fantastic 2018, hope you have a great year ahead. Next time I'll be looking at this, the Rock 64 single board computer, and I hope to talk to you again very soon.